The aim of the Idibl project was to develop a model of work-focused learning. This is to support learners in quite different work contexts, fully online, because in their case they were not willing, we believed, to leave the work in order to study, and needed in fact to keep studying, and couldn't access the university course because of the challenges they faced in managing their lives. This pedagogical approach, it was based on the ultraversity model that we developed in Anglia Ruskin University, but this time our intention was to support the whole university. Our theory of change here was that of action research supported by a realistic evaluation. We wanted to develop the framework, validate it in the normal way at the university. This meant defining sets of modules for the 3 undergraduate years and the master's year, and to ensure that these were capable of being interpreted by people in workplaces, and they could understand the learning outcomes that we'd defined. The framework was using this pedagogical approach of inquiry-based learning, where each learner was invited to negotiate separately their program of work over the period of study, identifying outputs that they may well have needed to produce for their workplace in any case, but this time thinking hard about how they could evidence the learning outcomes defined. At the end of that period, they would then stitch these pieces in a reflective piece where they were expected to account for their learning journey.
My name is Mohammed Temu. I'm a GTA Graduate Teaching Associate and Built Environment, Regeneration Sustainable Communities, a teacher and a student, a researcher at the same time.
I'm Ebina Kincheta and I'm a Graduate Teaching Associate with the Faculty of Advanced Engineering and Sciences.
Teaching somebody is using the Idibl model actually is just like when it's a virtual, just you feeling yourself like in a virtual environment, so you don't need to be physically exist in that class, so you can communicate with your students, you can get the feedback, and you can discuss, even talk, all of that.
It's less about teaching or lecturing, and it's more about facilitation. So you're supervising a research process. It's like being a supervisor on a dissertation.
I'm Pauline Davenport. I'm part-time master's student on the Idibl programme, Regeneration Sustainable Communities. For me, it's a way of getting the master's qualification but linking it around what I'm doing within my work, and a way of doing research at work that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So where we need to look at using new techniques, it's allowing me to do it within the course.
The main advantage would be around the flexibility and the fact that it caters to an audience that normally isn't catered to by traditional university degree approaches. And I mean, it's not for everybody and it's not for every subject, but it's really good at what it does, which is basically being work focused, putting the learner in charge of their learning. So it's both learner focused and learner led. And like I said, it offers that flexibility, so both in terms of location and time.
Because you can teach or you can deliver whatever in your mind or the class objectives, daytimes, night times, because there is no actually fixed time for deliver what's in your head as a teacher to the students, because you send it to them. And even with the flexibility of the Idibl model, if they want to be and face-to-face, that's okay. If not, it would be more in virtual or whatever learning platform they would prefer as a student or as a learner.
The main benefit of the framework is the modular way of working, so I've been able to pick up different modules at different times. And for me, some of those modules have been from other departments as taught modules. So I did one with teacher education off their master's programme, but where their master's programme would have been all taught and quite difficult for me to access because I'm a single parent as well. So the fact that I can do some of it taught and which gives me the interaction with other people, and some of it then on a research basis, working on my own in my own time, when it's suitable for me to do the work. That's the main thing that's been best for me about it.
Obviously, you don't have that face-to-face interaction that you get, and there are also issues about it not being real-time, so the feedback isn't always immediate. There are also similarities, though, around the initial apprehension that there is for people to get involved at the beginning, but with it not being face-to-face, it's sometimes a bit more difficult to overcome.
The fact that you're not meeting on a weekly basis actually makes it harder to get to know the people that you're with. So last year, when we weren't having the regular meetings, it was really difficult knowing what other people were doing, if anyone was there, if anyone was doing the same subject area. It's better than it was last year, but it could be better again, and it's almost like a volume, number of people involved, because getting everyone together is difficult. I think sometimes having the face-to-face element means you know who you're talking to on Moodle. So maybe having, even if it's not the weekly meetings, having a more bringing together of the master's students almost, or, you know, trying to get something where more people come together. It's the same few that go to it every week.
So things around interaction, it's a bit more difficult to read silences, for example. So you don't know if a student is just happy, gone off doing their work, or they're a bit stumped, which you can tell in a face-to-face classroom setting because you can see who's struggling or who isn't getting it. But like I said, that's something that goes along with the territory.
So the first 6 months, I almost gave it up because it was too isolated. Only this year I found the support's been far better. That's helped me get go. Yeah. And to know that I'm in the right track, I'm doing the right thing, because there was very much, how do you know you're doing the right thing if you're not getting feedback on what you're doing? And it's like this time, I mean, I've put things in and I'm waiting on feedback back. But because I'm talking to people in the meantime, I'm happy that what I'm doing is going in the right direction.
It's quite difficult to convince the employer outside of how you're going to deliver a flexible degree with a flexible name, because with the Idibl you can't tie the whole framework to one name or one degree, so it will be flexible in terms of the titles of the degree, and that would cause problems in terms of marketing.
It's definitely relevant, especially now where there's a more consumerist approach to education. So people want something that's more tailor-made and more focused on what it is that they're after in terms of their learning.
It is a platform for the future, a learning platform for the future. So it's not just for the people in terms of using media. You can use the same traditional ways of learning, but using that platform or that framework.
Well, yes. I mean, if you look at the younger generations, interacting with technology is second nature. So it's just, I think it's the next evolution really in terms of offering degrees. But like I said, it's not out to replace what we have. It's provides something that is not in existence.